Hey crafty babes, welcome to Retro Hip Studio. Today I'm welcoming you on a little tour of my space. Recently I moved and I have a fresh space downstairs in my family area, which this is actually supposed to be the dining room. So we have actually decided to put our kitchen table in the center in between this area and the living room, family room area, and then the kitchen is actually right here. So I love being down where the action is. I love not having a door. So this is where I decided to have my space. We're gonna start with the furniture because that always gets a lot of questions. Every piece of furniture in this area is from IKEA. Shocker, shocker. This desk is about 4 years old. It's a very simple desk and it has this L extender. I will link to these products in the description. So this is really nice for extra desk space. And then there is this small desk here, and that's also from IKEA. And then the Calyx cubes, all three of them, 1, 2, 3, are all from IKEA as well. Also these two desk toppers, I think they're just called desk shelves. Those are also from IKEA, and there's two. I've stacked them one on top of the other. My chair is from Target. I don't think it's available anymore. And then I also have 2 of these 5-drawer, I guess, little shelf units. I have 2 of them, and they are actually from Michael's. Okay, we are going to start back here with this Calyx cube. So I have it upright on top. I have lots of fun decoration, things that are just my favorite little trinkets. So the top shelf on the left is finished personal albums. So those are all simple stories, snap albums. I alternate between the yellow stripe and the mint stripe just so I can keep things consistent. And then here on this side are any planners. These are inactive planners. This area also just is kind of a catch-all for things I don't use very often. So I've got a lot of giveaway things at the bottom, random bins and stuff I'm not using, and notebooks there in the center. And the reason why I've done it this way is so that I can easily cover this space up with my little yellow Rascog cart, because this is a temporary photography and filming station. So I've got my tripod here. It just stands up. I've got a selfie stick on it for now because that's what I use when I'm doing overhead shots of my desk, over desk shots, I guess. I don't really know. And I also have this desk lamp attached to the shelf here because what I'll do for quick photos is, this normally doesn't have stuff on it, but right now these are the things that I need to take photos of. And so I just will pull this out just like this, use my lamp to shine the light down, and then I'll put my whiteboard on top of that and take some photos. And then I can just turn the light off, put it aside, roll the cart back in there. That way I don't have to have a clean desk. I can just, boom, put my stuff over there and take some photos. And then I keep in this little bin. I got this bin from Target. I think it's just a garbage can. Honestly, I think it's a wastebasket situation. But I keep all of my tripods, lights, umbrellas. I've got back there also the different sized whiteboards that I use to take my photos on. And then I also have a little product photo booth kind of thing, that little white rolled up thing. It has a stand and it's like a backdrop. So it's a product photo backdrop. And then just a little bit more decoration. If you've seen any of my studio tours, you've seen these things before. So I'm not gonna go into a lot of detail about the decor because I think you guys really wanna know about organization and how I'm keeping things. So let's move over to this area here. This is where I keep all of my current photo projects. So like, for example, I'm still working on the end of my 2018 family album. So here I'm gonna have my current weeks sitting out. I've got the I used to keep them in baggies, but now that I've got a little bit more room, I'm just going to be kind of laying them out for now. And so I've got the different weeks set aside here. And then this is a batch of photos that I need to figure out which weeks they go into. So I'll be doing that soon. Sorry about the sirens. I live near a road and a fire station, which is super helpful. In these drawers, the top drawer actually doesn't have anything in it, but in this drawer, I've got pens of all types. So I like to keep like items together. And then from there, I will bring in separate items into certain bins. Like if I'm working on a project and I need a purple pen and a blue pen and a green pen, I will just grab those out of my stash and keep them with that project until I'm finished with it. And so other than that, I keep them all together. So pens and some pencils. These areas here are current design team projects, not projects, but design team products. So there's a teeny tiny sneak there that you can see the Citrus Twist February kit and also a Studio Calico kit. But you can't see them and I can't sneak them like for reals. So we're gonna move on to this little first aid emergency room or emergency kit, first aid kit. This is very difficult to do one-handed, but the purpose of this bin is for printables that need to be put away. So my process at the moment is, let me sit and show you that process because I think it's important. So this bin right here has printables that need to be put away, or that need to be cut up actually, sorry. So this folder right here has all kinds of printables that need to be cut up. And then what I do when I cut them up is I put them in here. And then the intention is for this to then eventually get put away to where they belong, whether it's by color, by type, like these will end up going in with all of my letters and word strip stickers. So everything's gonna have a place eventually, but for a while I will just kind of dig through this and use this on my projects. So again, the idea is that eventually those things will get put away, but for now it's really fun to kind of dig through that. The next shelf here, well, we've got Blanche, so I always have access to my typewriter, which I've been using so much lately now that I have her out and I can get to her easily, so it's been really nice. This has textures in it, so it's going to be ribbons and twine and clips that have fabric, little scraps of fabric and lace and stuff like that. So anything that's got texture. And then this is one of the ways that I'm storing some of my ephemera, and this is basically going to be, I don't have a category or a color for these things. So Beloved Society girls, I just know that they're going to be in here. I don't have a special category or bin just for Beloved Society girls. Same thing with some of the printables like this that have lots of color and don't really have a specific theme like a label or a pocket card or something like that. So I've decided that I just can't organize everything, and sometimes things just have to be kind of randomly thrown in a drawer. So that's really fun. Next here is my paper bin. So this is where I keep active, smaller sized papers that are not Project Life cards and that are not full page sheets, except for the very small amount that's right here. And I'll show you where I keep my paper here in a sec. But I've got them organized by size. So these are going to be all my little prayer request cards from Allie Scraps. These are going to be smaller ephemera pieces that are kind of cards, but not really cards. Some of them are going to be tags or just really oddly shaped smaller pieces. Again, oddly shaped smaller pieces, but that are taller. And then back here are going to be kind of bigger pieces. Here are 6x6 paper pads, 6x8 paper pads, and papers are back here. 3x8 and traveler's notebook sized, and some that are kind of like a little bit odd but a little taller. And then back here is like junk journal pages, so things like old vintage papers and stuff that I kind of buy from vintage kits. And then some very recent 12x12 papers from Citrus Twist, or just things that I've buy that are, you know, just part of my stash, but that they are full-size papers. So down here, I have 2 bins for December daily. So right now, or 2 cubes for December daily, because I have not finished. So I've got all of my ephemera and, you know, like washi and different things down there on the bottom shelf. And then up here in this little organizer is alpha stickers and other kinds of stickers and larger pieces of paper. And you've seen my setup for that. And then my actual album. So once that gets done and finished, then that little organizer will get cleared out. That clear bin down there will get cleared out to be used for something else. Next to that are all of my current projects. So I've got my new 9x12 family album, my current 6x8 personal album, which is the yellow stripe. And then I've got the Citrus Twist Life Crafted album, which is this one here. And that is a traveler's notebook sized ringed album. And that's a album dedicated to us moving into this house and all the stuff that goes along with that. And then this is my last 2018 family album that I need to finish up. And then I have some smaller projects here that are going to be done in these. They're a little smaller than 6x8, but these are the custom journals from Persnickety Print. So I have a Godwinks one. I have one for the cruise to Mexico, the Cruising with the Reset Girl that we just went on in October. And then this one is from the Gather and Create retreat in Tahoe that I did with Susanna in September. So, and one project here of when I went to Colorado to visit Alyssa last Christmas. So I've got a lot of current projects, but I like to keep them all right here just so that whatever I want to work on, I know where I can find that project. Down below here is just office supplies, nothing super fancy. And then on this section down here, I've got another almost finished open ring traveler's notebook. I've got Camp Reset / Revival Camp in the brown album, and then a couple of binders with some older illustrated faith devotionals. So I've got to go through those and decide what I want to keep and which ones I would like to get rid of. Here is just a cute little book stack. I've got my 2 other 2018 albums over here. I do need to just label all of them once they're done. So there's going to be 3 versions, well, not 3 versions, 3 volumes. So I'll get them labeled. And I've got all of my paints and art stuff here with the ever fabulous Bob Ross. These 2 binders here hold all of my blank and empty 6x8 page protectors. So I keep one album here, and this is a 2 ring. So any of my simple stories, personal albums, these are the ring configurations that fit those. So I have them organized with little section dividers. So everything behind here is all going to be the design number 2, and then I actually had to draw design number 4 because I didn't have the proper cover for that one, but I just have them organized that way. That way I can always go grab empties. And then this one is the same, but it's for the 6-hole configuration. So I also have some Felicity Jane planner pages in here because I do like to use the grid and the lined papers for some layouts, depending on if I'm like in my junk journal or my family album or whatever. But I like to keep those separate and easily accessible so that I can just grab and go. Down here is all of my embroidery. So I have a bin where I keep current projects and my embroidery, traveling little folding doohickey. I don't know how many of you remember, if you've been following me since the very, very, very beginning, I made this little, excuse the mess. This was from this was from one of the projects that I did for the Autumn magazine where I did a embroidery project. But when Marshall was very young, I needed a place to keep the needles safe from him. And so I made this little pouch so I could keep everything together, and my current threads for whatever project I was working on went in here. So now there's just a bunch of stuff in there. So yeah, I made that. I think there's a tutorial out there somewhere. And then all of my floss is organized by color in here, as you can see. And then my hot glue gun. On to the good stuff, which is all kinds of ephemera decoration things. So here I have a couple of different bins. I have a couple of refrigerator bins here. This one holds all of my project life cards organized by either color or a theme. So if they don't have a specific color, or if I think in my mind that I would find them via their color, they're gonna go in color. If I'm gonna look for them and I think that they're gonna be something that I can find based on their theme, then that's how I'm gonna organize them, if that makes sense. This is a wooden tiered box from Michael's. It's from the Recollections brand. And you can move the, there's little spots to have these sections come in and out. So my final configuration after lots of different iterations is this. So I've got some stickers that I lay flat or lay on their side here. So this is gonna be like enamel stickers and puffy stickers and TRG sticker sets. Basically longer, taller stickers. And then I've got all this section right here is all honeys, all planner, like squares, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's like all the sticker sets from TRG. And then all the labels from TRG sticker sets. Actually, I think these are labels and numbers. Back here is gonna be like smaller ephemera stuff for like junk journals, random things I can just throw into my albums and projects to make them just like super fun. So bags, glassine bags, envelopes, lots of guest checks, flashcards, revival camp pages. So when I'm ready to do some Bible journaling or get into my faith book, then I can have those, like larger 4x6 pieces and stuff that just like Maggie Holmes stuff that's like not a project life card, and some larger, wider alphas that don't fit back here. I've got two things of alphas back here. So these are going to be my tall ones, and then these are some shorter ones. And then these are going to be like more stickers, but also word strips. So things that have like, I guess this actually probably should go in here. That's kind of where it belongs. Word strip stickers is basically what's supposed to be back here. Anything that's like word related and not like icon related. Does that make sense? And then here is going to be smaller sticker sets, a lot of TRG sticker sets, and then like some simple stories, smaller little stickers. So that's where I keep those. I have these clear, so these are just like clear Dixie cups, but they're kind of fancier. I got them at Target, and you can buy them just in like packs of, I don't know, 24 or something like that. And so I've been using them for a lot of different things, and they are super handy for your little things like clips, and these are all hearts and little teeny tiny shapes that get lost. So these, you would think, well, you organize your stuff by color. Why wouldn't you put that purple heart with the purple? Well, they get lost in there in these little bins that I've used for a long time, and I'll show you in a sec. They just get lost and they get thrown in the bottom, and they get sorted to the bottom, and then you just can't find them. So I wanted all of my little tiny things together and separate so that I know what I'm looking for when I am finishing up a page and I want tiny little embellishments to finish everything off. I know what I want and I know where to find them. And then of course I have a whole cup here full of labels because they get special treatment. And the reason why I put them in this bin here is because I didn't want to risk them like falling over if I, was here like digging through this and then it lost its balance, or, I just want, it's kind of a safety thing because I don't want to pick these all up if they ever fall. Okay, so these are my embellishments that are sorted by color. So I have 3 bins. These are from like the bathroom organization section, or maybe even like drawer organization section from Target, but you can find these anywhere. I think I've seen them at the dollar store before too. They're just clear bins. And they do stack on top of each other, which is really convenient. But I've made enough space here for them to be laid out so that when I need red, I can just pull this out and there's all my red stuff. Here I've got some more like style specific or theme specific. So I kept one separate for things like ampersands, word things, and tabs and yeah, ampersands. And then here I've got basically tickets and tags because I like to keep those separate and grab them when that's specifically what I want. And then florals. So florals and actually some animals. So there's going to be some birds and like butterflies in here. But basically, nature, I guess that would be a good way to categorize this one. And I keep that one up here. In this bin up here, these are cards that need to be put away. So these are recent cards, and then my 4x6s are probably always going to live in here because I don't really have a better place for them and I don't have a whole lot. So that's my current 4x6 stash. Pretty small. Back here is a bin of photos for my personal album that need to be either organized or scrapbooked. So what I do when I'm ready to begin, scrapbooking in my personal album, I'll just go through there and pick out some photos that speak to me or that I have a story to tell or that I have supplies that would really go well with them. So I just keep them all here. They aren't organized by anything. They're just kind of in there. And then once I go through that, if I decide that there's photos in there that I just don't want to scrapbook anymore, I'll show you where I keep those. And then here is a little pouch with some supplies that need to be put away. So they just need to be like the alphas need to be put away. The labels need to be put away and cut out. The papers need to go where they need to go because they're going to be older kits that I've already used. And they don't need to stay with their collection anymore. And then I have a couple of small Felicity Jane little containers here. One's for teeny tiny clips from them, and then one's just got all of my wood and cork. So as you can see, I don't have a lot anymore. I got rid of a ton, and so that's all I have left. Here is my tool caddy. So I have all of the things that I reach for like all of the time. So all of my adhesives are in here, all of my tools, so punches and scissors, and then pens, obviously a nail file because I'm a girl, pens and pencils that I use most, little trinkets of things I need to use most, like my eraser or my chapstick or a bobby pin. Oh, also my remote for my camera. So like when I have to take fashion photos, I have this little Bluetooth remote camera. I'll see if I can link that in the description too. Or I'll put that on my favorite things on my website. So if you haven't been to my website, I have a whole page called Favorite Things, and it's got affiliate links for all of the products that I use the most and Amazon. So any of the tools and things that I love and would recommend for you guys, they're gonna have affiliate links so you can get to them, and then it always helps the channel. Helps me make these cool videos. Okay, so back here is my Instax. If I keep it out and keep it visible, I will use it more, and I have totally used it more when it's out. And then I have my Dymo Express label maker, which you've seen on the outside of some of my drawers, and I've been using it a ton. And then my little pop-up Post-it Polaroid. Wow, that was a lot of alliteration. And I pull that out when I need to make quick notes, and it's really, really super convenient. And this is a bin that I've had from Michael's for a lot of years. So I've had that for quite some time. Also, stamps. I use my stamps constantly, and the reason that I use them constantly is because they are out and visible and I make them a priority. So here is a little dish that I started using recently, and I'm keeping my most favorite and most used stamps in here. So I basically took apart some older stamp sets and just kind of pulled out the ones that I wanted to use most frequently. I remember most of them and who they're from. And I'm sure that I would be able to put them back if I ever wanted to switch them out, and I will switch them out soon. But I really like having the ones that I reach for the most. I don't want to go into an entire stamp set and try to find what I'm looking for. So I like having them there, and then I clean them. I've cleaned them once already since they've been sitting out here, which has been like less than a couple of months. But then I have this other clear dish or clear organizing bin. Everything I use to organize is clear because if it's white or colored or if I can't see through it, I don't know what's in it, and then I don't use it. So I have my most used stamps here organized by size so I can get to them easily. So it's a lot of my favorite Felicity Jane and Ellie's Studio stamps, a lot of alpha stamps, and a lot of citrus twist stamps that are just full of wonderful words that are perfect for documenting. And then I have my little stamp tiered organizer here. So this is actually a mail sorter, but it's sitting on its back. So you can use anything that you have or getting something very similar. And if you just flip it on your back, then you've got these built-in shelves. So I have my wipes here. The most used stamp ink is my StazOn. And then I have 2 blocks that I use most frequently, and then 4 roller stamps. And then I have this piece of paper here that I use to stamp off on. So I'll use it to prep a stamp or stamp off when I'm done in order to clean it. And then of course I have my phone and my cup always there. And then I have all of this extra desk space. So here I've got some photos that need to be organized and put away, or I need to prep whatever project they belong to. So I'll be working on that today. I'm really excited about that. Lots of desk space. And then underneath here, I have this little metal tiered drawer situation. I've painted this probably 3 times now, but it's from IKEA. And on top, I keep both of my paper trimmers. So I've got my little 6-inch and the larger one. So they're just kind of out of the way, but I can grab them easily, and I can pull the 6-inch one up here. If I have enough room, I can pull the larger one up here, but most of the time I'll just drag them over here and do my cutting if I have a lot of cutting to do, or I'll just leave one out so that while I'm working on a project, I can easily just trim the side of something off. So that works out really nicely. And then here are all of the washies that I kept after I purged. So I've got actually a small, this is a baking pan. So it's about as deep as one of these washies. So I would say it's like 1.5 inches deep maybe. And then I've got a ring of some highlighter washi from Sweet Stamp Shop, and then some washies from Friends on some, what are those called? Shipping tags. That's right. And then in here, I have some blank shipping tags, lots of doilies. This is where I keep all my doilies. And then lots of enamel shapes and stuff from Illustrated Faith and Bella Boulevard. There's just so many, and I never want to get rid of them because I do go to them, but I don't have a good spot for them to be out and up that would allow enough room for everything else. So when I know that I need a heart or a cross or an enamel hexie or something, I'm going to reach in there. And then I've got these 3 iris cases here. So this has all numbers. This has all enamel dots, like the smaller sheets. And then here I have the Avery self-adhesive clear divider labels, or divider tabs. So that's where I keep all of those things. Down here is nothing but this cutting board and a little piece of paper that I can use to do my painting. That's it. These drawers are labeled. So this big drawer here has all of my punches, and it's got some extra little storage things, but all of my punches are organized here by size. I just have circle punches really. I have the arc punch for my planner, and then I've got a couple of like border punches. So I've got the notebook paper one and the scalloped one, regular hole punch, and then I do have the punch board from We Are Memory Keepers. I don't use it right now because I've kind of I don't really have a need for it, but it's nice to just have it as a backup. I did use it a lot for when I was working on my 6x8 albums that had the 6 rings. Well, I still am, but before I made myself a template, I was just punching 3 holes at a time. And then I have extra glue and my tab punch. Eventually I will put a knob on here, but right now I have a little space right here where I can put my hand and it's easy to open. So I'll get to that eventually. So here I have stamps and my Instax stuff. So I have larger stamps and then some colored stamp pads and my Instax film and like the charger and a plug so that when I travel, I can charge it. And then some extra little planner discs. I don't really know what to do with those yet. Then here I have scrap paper. So no rhyme or reason. There is, oh my gosh, if anyone has perfected storing their scraps, oh my gosh, I used to store mine by color in like a large accordion file. I'm thinking that maybe I have to go back to that. I don't know. It's kind of out of control. And then this is all the paper, 12 by 12 paper that I own. So it's just all in this one drawer. Here I have photo rejects. So any photos that I printed but did not use in my projects, they go in here so that I can pull them out for maybe another project later. And then here are bags. So I've got glassine bags or pouches, anything to like use in my projects or use to store or organize anything. And my beautiful view of my house. And I love being down here. I love being able to be cooking or just be with the family when someone's watching TV. I can see out back. It's currently raining and we just had a huge downpour for like 3 days and it just barely let up, but I know it's coming back. And then I love having my photo station close to that window so that I can utilize the natural light easily. And I have plugs so that I can set up my studio lights when I need more professional and, you know, more brightly lit photos. And just all of my special little things in my special little place. So thank you guys so much for taking time to walk through my studio with me. I hope you've enjoyed and grabbed some organizational tips or something that you've taken away from this. Let me know what you learned or what you're going to implement in your own space. I can't wait to hear about it and see what you guys think. Talk to you real soon. Bye.